Okay, everyone, thank you for coming to the lesson today. My name is Umas, and today we'll be looking at the topic of the Virginia Woolf and medical humanities. So let me share my screen. There we go. Can everybody see the screen now?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, loading.
Mhm.
Okay, uh, so this is the topic today. My name is Umas. You can just call me again Umas, not doctor. I'm not familiar with the title. And yeah, so here's my email. So if you have any question, please send the email. Send your questions to the email, please. And before we get into our topic today, I'd like you to think about why do we tell stories about illness? So keep in mind. So think about that. We can have a discussion later on. So today we'll be looking at Virginia Woolf and medical humanities. So let's start with Woolf, the author. So Virginia Woolf is a renowned modernist writer. She is known for her pioneering use of stream of consciousness, which means just write whatever that comes to your mind. And she is often compared with her contemporaries, James Joyce and T.S. Eliot. And she also is a central figure of early modernist thought, especially in relation to education, professional life, and gender equality and identity. And she also is a member of influential Bloomsbury Group in London. The Bloomsbury Group is an intellectual group that consists of writers, scientists, philosophers, and older politicians. And her major works include, you might have read before, Mrs. Dalloway to the Lighthouse, Orlando, The Waves, and A Rooms of One's Own. And she was diagnosed with manic depression and was treated by several physicians. Okay, so let's get into medical humanities. So medical humanities is a growing field. It is a interdisciplinary field integrating the humanities subjects such as literature, philosophy, psychology, and art with medical education and practice. And medical humanity explores the human experience of health, illness, care, with the emphasis on the subjective and cultural dimensions. So it's about you, it's about human and your cultures. And you also emphasize a holistic, person-centered approach to healthcare, which means that you're not just your diseases, illness. You are you as a person and human being. So medical humor talks about a lot of on human itself. And here's a text I would like to talk about today. It's a this one is a Wolf essay on being ill. The essay explores how illness can be a good resource for literature and creativity, and it also suggests that illness challenges the expression of embodied experience, both mental and physical, through language. Importantly, it also emphasizes on subjectivity. So here's a quote. This she says, "We don't know our souls, let alone the souls of others. There is a virgin forest in each, a snow field where the prince of birds feeds on them." And what she means that doctors tend to talk about your illness and describe how illness your illness is something, but actually you are the only one who understand your illness, and this is the only thing that you can experience yourself. So yeah, so it's talks about like subjectivity. This is you. This is your experience, not others. And this essay has been discussed widely by medical professionals, such as Rita Charan, regarding patient-centered narrative or storytelling practice in medicine. And so I'd like you to have these some questions. I do have some questions for you guys. So I'd like you to just discuss these two questions. So the first one, how does the experience of illness influence our consciousness and use of language? And second question is, in what way do patient narrative contribute to our understanding of illness? So let's start with the first question, shall we? how does the experience of illness influence our consciousness and the use of language? So open out to the floor. Anyone?
Yes. So obviously, the experience of illness will have a big effect on our consciousness. So it can have an effect on our perceptions, our way of being in the world. And this will also influence our use of language. A lot of people, and Wolf included, used language and also other artistic expressions as a way of conversing or dealing with their illness or even healing.
So as you say that the kind of narrative talks about the person's perspectives of the world and also their experience, especially it also brings out the healing factors through language itself. Okay. Thank you, Anna, for sharing your thoughts. Anyone else?
I suppose we always, initially as we grow up, we see ourselves in relation, our experiences in relation to external factors in the world. And I suppose what illness allows us to do is to look inward, which in a way that we're not brought up to, and understand ourselves and our own experience. And that teaches us how to express ourselves, and whether it's literature, whether it's art, whether it's the language we use, and I think without that internal experience or internal awareness, which is a journey itself, it's very hard to express yourself.
Thank you for that. So you're saying that the experience of illness also gives an opportunity to introspect, give the introspective experience about what we actually internally think about ourselves, an eternal factor or something.
I think the use of the word illness is quite interesting, because if we're referring to, say, for example, mental health, that can be, we all experience mental health.
Yes.
And there's such a spectrum. So that's quite interesting. That would be quite interesting to explore what we mean by illness.
Yes. I mean, there are a lot of when you say mental health, there's a lot of texts or like literary works or even biographies on mental illnesses disorder. So that's a good way for them to explore what they are thinking, their eternal experience, really. Okay, thank you. And sorry about time. About the time, I'm pretty conscious of the time. So let's move on to a second question, shall we? So the second question is, in what ways do patient narratives contribute to our understanding of illness? So just imagine you are in a clinic setting, you are a doctor, and the patients coming to you telling about their story. So how are they going to contribute to the understanding of the illness?
Depends on the doctor. Depends on how they're trained and what their listening ear is.
Yes.
And because sometimes they dictate to the patient.
So you're saying that they are it does help. It depends on how doctors listen.
Their interaction and what space they give.
Yes. So that also calls a question like how important it is to understand the patient narratives, because I should just say that most often patient narrative also can give different perspectives to doctor of the diseases, so how they can find the middle ground and how can they understand better of their illness. Anyone? Thank you, Wen. Anyone?
But the doctor needs to be ready to hear more than the diagnosis, no? So yes, and every illness is individual. So
yes,
if they're ready to listen, they'll have a lot to hear.
Yes, yeah. So do you remember that when you go to GP and GP will ask you questions that are not necessarily related to your illness? For example, like if you have some skin problem, they'll ask like where do you work, where are you from, something like that, or what do you eat, something like that. So they was like culture thing, like they are not necessarily related to your illness, but they can be. And so thank you for your contribution, people. And if you do have more questions or any thoughts, I would like you to have the assignment. So the assignment just wait a minute. Okay. Oh, sorry. So before we get into the assignment, so in conclusion, I want to conclude with this quote. So what reminds us that literature is not only about hero adventures and also the intimate, overlooked experience of body and mind illness. By engaging with this narrative, we can cultivate a deeper, more compassionate understanding of illness. And if you have more thoughts or questions about the lesson, please write your journal. So I will send you a link later to this Google Meet class assignment. So you can write your journal and tell me what you think about the lesson and the topic. And here's some suggested reading. So, and also I will send you slides to you, so you don't be afraid of forgetting everything that I said. So yeah, so everyone, thank you for coming again, and I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.